Hey Liddies, thank you so much for your patience and understanding throughout this process. I dropped my phone in the toilet, it died, and I have been without a phone for a really long time, so I wasn't able to make my graphics, post anything fun for you, and definitely not able to edit, film, or make any of my review videos. Welcome back to Let's Get Literary with me, Jessica Stevens. Tonight's scented candle is cherry pie. You can smell like the brown sugar and the crust, like the buttery flaky crust, and you can smell like the fruit. Like it almost smells like maraschino cherry, like really sweet. I love this candle, and I love burning a warm scented candle when I'm reading a book. It's the perfect ambiance. So let's hop to it. Tonight's book is Matched by Ali Condi. This book is amazing. I read it back in high school, and I loved every moment. I only actually read the first and the second. I never got around to reading the third book, so I really look forward to reading that this spring. I have to say that Ali Condi is one of the most talented authors I have read. So this book is all about a girl named Cassia. It is a kind of a hybrid of dystopian, utopian, which I love. Because as you know, I have said it before, I'll say it again, I'm a sucker for dystopian novels. I don't want to give too much away, so all you need to know, basically, is in the cover of the book. It says, "In the society, officials decide who you love, where you work, and when you die." Cassia has always trusted their choices. It's hardly any price to pay for a long life, the perfect job, the ideal mate. And so this is kind of her journey along as she's getting ready, coming of age. She's getting ready to see what kind of life the government, the society has planned for her. And so we're going to read chapter 1 of Matched in order to get a little taste of what this exciting, amazing, romantic, and adventurous, and really intense page turner this is. So without further ado, let's get lit. Chapter 1. Now that I've found the way to fly, which direction should I go into the night? My wings aren't white or feathered, they're green, made of green silk, which shudders in the wind and bends when I move. First in a circle, then in a line, finally in a shape of my own invention. The black behind me doesn't worry me, neither do the stars ahead. I smile at myself at the foolishness of my imagination. People cannot fly, though before the society there were myths about those who could. I saw a painting of them once. White wings, blue sky, gold circles above their heads, eyes turned up in surprise as though they couldn't believe what the artist had painted them doing, couldn't believe that their feet didn't touch the ground. Those stories weren't true, I know that, but tonight it's easy to forget. The air train glides throughout the starry night so smoothly and my heart pounds so quickly that it feels as though I could soar into the sky at any moment. "What are you smiling about?" Xander wonders as I smooth the folds of my green silk dress down neat. "Everything," I tell him, and it's true. I've waited so long for this, for my match banquet, where I'll see for the first time the face of the boy who will be my match. It will be the first time I hear his name. I can't wait. As quickly as the air train moves, it still isn't fast enough. It hushes through the night, its sound a background for the low rain of our parents' voices, the lightning-quick beats of my heart. Perhaps Xander can hear my heart pounding too, because he asks, "Are you nervous?" In the seat next to him, Xander's older brother begins to tell my mother the story of his match banquet. It won't be long now until Xander and I have our own stories to tell. "No," I say, but Xander's my best friend. He knows me too well. "You lie," he teases. "You are nervous." "Aren't you?" "Not me. I'm ready." He says it without hesitation, and I believe him. Xander is the kind of person who is sure about what he wants. "It doesn't matter if you're nervous, Cassia," he says, gentle now. "Almost 93% of those attending their match banquet exhibit some signs of nervousness." "Did you memorize all of the official matching material?" "Almost," Xander says, grinning. He holds his hands out as if to say, "What did you expect?" The gesture makes me laugh, and besides, I memorized all the material too. It's easy to do when you read it so many times and the decision is so important. "So you're in the minority," I say, "the 7% who don't show any nerves at all." "Of course," he agrees. "How could you tell I was nervous?" "Because you keep opening and closing that." Xander points to the golden object in my hands. "I didn't know you had an artifact." A few treasures from the past float around among us. Though citizens of the society are allowed one artifact each, they are hard to come by unless you had ancestors who took care to pass things along through the years. "I didn't until a few hours ago," I tell him. "Grandfather gave it to me for my birthday. It belonged to his mother." What is it called? Xander asks. A compact, I say. I like the name very much. Compact means small. I am small. I also like the way it sounds when you say it. Compact. Saying the word makes a sound like the one the artifact itself makes when it snaps shut. What do the initials and numbers mean? I'm not sure. I run my finger across the letters A, C, M, and the numbers 1940 carved across the golden surface. But look, I tell him, popping the compact open to show him the inside. A little mirror made of real glass, and a small hollow where the original owner once stored powder for her face, according to grandfather. Now I use it to hold the 3 emergency tablets that everyone carries. 1 green, 1 blue, and 1 red. That's convenient, Xander says. He stretches out his arms in front of him, and I notice that he has an artifact too. A pair of shiny platinum cufflinks. My father lent me these, but you can't put anything in them. They're completely useless. They look nice, though. My gaze travels up to Xander's face, to his bright blue eyes and blonde hair above his dark suit and white shirt. He's always been handsome, even when we were little, but I've never seen him dressed up like this. Boys don't have as much leeway in choosing clothes as girls do. One suit looks much like another. Still, they get to select the color of their shirts and cravats, and the quality of the material is much finer than the material used for plain clothes. You look nice. The girl who finds out that he's her match will be thrilled. Nice, Xander says, lifting his eyebrows. That's all? Xander, his mother says next to him, amusement mingled with reproach in her voice. You look beautiful, Xander tells me, and I flush a little even though I've known Xander all my life. I feel beautiful, and this dress, ice green, floating, full-skirted, the unaccustomed smoothness of silk against my skin makes me feel lithe and graceful. Next to me, my mother and father each draw a breath as City Hall comes into the view. Lit up white and blue and sparkling with the special occasion lights that indicate a celebration is taking place. I can't see the marble stairs in the front hall yet, but I know that they will be polished and shining. All my life I have waited to walk up those clean marble steps, through the doors of the hall, a building I have seen from a distance but never entered. I want to open the compact and check into the mirror to make sure I look my best, but I don't want to seem vain, so I sneak a glance at my face and its surface instead. The rounded lid of the compact distorts my features a little, but it's still me. My green eyes, my coppery brown hair, which looks more golden in the compact than it does in real life. My straight small nose, my chin with a trace of a dimple like my grandfather's, all the outward characteristics that make me Cassia Marie Reyes, 17 years old exactly. I turn the compact over in my hands, looking at how perfectly the 2 sides fit together. My match is already coming together just as neatly. Beginning with the fact that I am here tonight. Since my birthday falls on the 15th, the day the banquet is held each month, I'd always hoped that I might be matched on my actual birthday, but I knew it might not happen. You can be called up for your banquet any time during the year after you turn 17. When the notification came across the port 2 weeks ago that I would indeed be matched on the day of my birthday, I could almost hear the clean snap of the pieces fitting into place, exactly as I've dreamed of for so long. Because although I haven't had to wait a full day for my match, in some ways, I've waited all my life. Cassia, my mother says, smiling at me. I blink and look up, startled. My parents stand up, ready to disembark. Xander stands too and straightens his sleeves. I hear him take a deep breath, and I smile to myself. Maybe he is a little nervous after all. Here we go, he says to me. His smile is so kind and good. I'm glad we were called up the same month. We've shared so much of childhood, it seems we should share the end of it too. I smile back at him and give him the best greeting we have in the society. I wish you optimal results, I tell Xander. You too, Cassia, he says. As we step off the air train and walk towards City Hall, my parents each link an arm through mine. I am surrounded, as I always have been, by their love. It is only the 3 of us tonight. My brother Bram can't come to the match banquet because he's under 17, too young to attend. The first one you attend is always your own. I, however, will be able to attend Bram's banquet because I am the older sibling. I smile to myself, wondering what Bram's match will be like. In 7 years, I'll find out, but tonight is my night. It is easy to identify those of us being matched. Not only are we younger than all the others, but we also float along in beautiful dresses and tailored suits while our parents and older siblings walk around in plain clothes, a background against which we bloom. The city officials smile proudly at us, and my heart swells as we enter the rotunda. In addition to Xander, who waves goodbye to me as he crosses the room to a seating area, I see another girl I know named Leah. She picked the bright red dress. It is a good choice for her because she is beautiful enough that standing out works in her favor. She looks worried, however, and she keeps twisting her artifact, a jeweled red bracelet. I'm a little surprised to see Leah there. I would have picked her for a single. Look at this china, my father says as we find our place at the banquet tables. It reminds me of the Wedgwood pieces we found last year. My mother looks at me and rolls her eyes in amusement. Even at the match banquet, my father can't stop himself from noticing these things. My father spends months working in old neighborhoods that are being restored and turned into new boroughs for public use. He sifts through the relics of a society that is not as far in the past as it seems. Right now, for example, he's working on a particularly interesting restoration project, an old library. He sorts out the things the society has marked as valuable from the things that are not. But then I have to laugh because my mother can't help but comment on the flowers, since they fall in her area of expertise as an arboretum worker. Oh, Cassia, look at the centerpieces! Lilies! She squeezes my hand. Please be seated, an official tells us from the podium. Dinner is about to be served. It's almost comical how quickly we all take our seats because we might admire the china and the flowers, and we might be here for our matches, but we also can't wait to taste the food. They say this dinner is always wasted on the matchees, a jovial-looking man sitting across from us says, smiling around our table. So excited they can't eat a bite. And it's true. One of the girls sitting farther down the table, wearing a pink dress, stares at her plate, touching nothing. I don't seem to have this problem, however, though I don't gorge myself. I can eat some of everything. The roasted vegetables, the savory meat, the crisp greens, and creamy cheese, the warm light bread. The meal seems like a dance, as though this is a ball as well as a banquet. The waiters slide the plates in front of us with graceful hands. The food, wearing herbs and garnishes, is as dressed up as we are. We lift the white napkins, the silver forks, the shining crystal goblets, as if in time to music. My father smiles happily as the server sets a piece of chocolate cake with fresh cream before him at the end of the meal. Wonderful, he whispers so softly that only my mother and I can hear him. My mother laughs a little at him, teasing him, and he reaches for her hand. I understand his enthusiasm when I take a bite of the cake, which is rich but not overwhelming, deep and dark and flavorful. It is the best thing I have eaten since the traditional dinner at Winter Holiday months ago. I wish Bram could have some cake, and for a minute I think about saving some of mine for him, but there's no way to take it back to him. It wouldn't fit in my compact. I swallow in surprise, and for a second I feel an unexpected surge of anger. I didn't get to savor my last bite of cake! Oh, girl, she done waited all her life to get to this banquet, and she doesn't even get to savor cake. In case you guys didn't know, in this book, they don't get to eat fancy food. They get to eat just basic, nutritional, boring, bland kind of foods. This is a huge deal, and she didn't get to finish her chocolate cake. Anyway, moving on. Leah Abby. Leah twists her bracelet furiously as she stands, waiting to see the face flash on the screen. She's careful to hold her hands low, though, so the boy seeing her in another city hall somewhere will only see the beautiful blonde girl and not her worried hands twisting and turning that bracelet. It's strange how we hold on to the pieces of the past while we wait for our futures. There's a system, of course, to the matching. In city halls across the country, all filled with people, the matches are announced in alphabetical order according to the girls' last names. I feel slightly sorry for the boys, who have no idea when their names will be called, when they must stand for girls in other city halls to receive them as matches. Since my last name is Reyes, I will be somewhere at the end of the middle, the beginning of the end. The screen flashes with the face of a boy, blonde and handsome. He smiles as he sees Leah's face on the screen where he is, and she smiles too. Joseph Peterson, the announcer says. Leah Abby, you have been matched with Joseph Peterson. The hostess presiding over the banquet brings Leah a small silver box. The same thing happens to Joseph Peterson on the screen. When Leah sits down, she looks at the silver box longingly, as though she wishes she could open it right away. I don't blame her. Inside the box is a micro card with background information about her match. We all receive them. Later, the boxes will be used to hold the rings for the marriage contract. The screen flashes back to the default picture, a boy and a girl smiling at each other with glimmering lights and a white-coated official in the background. Although society times the matching to be as efficient as possible, there are still moments when the screen goes back to this picture, which means that we all wait while something happens somewhere else. It's so complicated, the matching, and I am again reminded of the intricate steps of the dances they used to do long ago. This dance, however, is one that the society alone can choreograph now. The picture shimmers away. The announcer calls another name. Another girl stands up. Soon, more and more people at the banquet have little silver boxes. Some people set them on the white tablecloths in front of them, but most hold the boxes carefully, unwilling to let their futures out of their hands so soon after receiving them. I don't see any other girls wearing the green dress. I don't mind. I like the idea that for one night I don't look like everyone else. Because in their world, they wear the plain clothes that she was talking about that are just like kind of like brown or gray, like really simple kind of like frumpy clothes. And so this is the one opportunity, or one of the opportunities that they get to actually pick a color, stand out, and wear something beautiful. I wait, holding my compact in one hand and my mother's hand in the other. Her palm feels sweaty. For the first time, I realize that she and my father are nervous too. Cassia Maria Reyes. It's my turn. I stand up, letting go of my mother's hand, and turn toward the screen. I feel my heart pounding, and I'm tempted to twist my hands the way Leah did, but I hold perfectly still, with my chin up and my eyes on the screen. I watch and wait, determined that the girl my match will see on the screen in his city hall somewhere out there in society will be poised and calm and lovely, the very best image of Cassia Maria Reyes that I can present. But nothing happens. I stand and look at the screen, and as the seconds go by, it is all I can do to stay still, all I can do to keep smiling. Whispers start around me. Out of the corner of my eye, I see my mother move her hand as if to take mine again, but then she pulls it back. A girl in a green dress stands waiting, her heart pounding. Me. The screen is dark, and it stays dark. That can only mean one thing. Oh my gosh, this book. I have to tell you, I just love everything about it, everything about the society, the excitement of like the romance and the intrigue of who she's going to be matched with. If you have not read this book, you're going to have to read on in chapter 2 and beyond to find out who she gets matched with, what happens, why was the screen dark, and everything else in the amazing page-turning adventures that lie ahead. This book and its sequels are phenomenal. So well planned, so intricate, everything in its place, the perfect love triangle. Everybody loves a good love triangle, let's not lie to ourselves. This book has a little something for everyone, and I can hardly wait to read book 3. But if you haven't yet had the pleasure to read book 1, Matched by Ali Condi, please get to your local library as fast as you can and check out this book. Download it on Amazon to your Kindle, get it on your Nook, I don't care. Get matched. Thank you so much for getting lit with me. Thank you so much for patiently waiting for me to return. I love you all. Please like and subscribe and share this video. Comment below if you have any thoughts about this book. Make sure that you write spoiler alert first if you're going to talk about anything that someone who hasn't read it wouldn't want to know. And I hope all you Liddies have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you again next week because I've got an awesome book in the works that I can't wait to review for you. Mwah.